The steel chisel bites into the frozen granite, sending a spray of gray dust into the howling white void. A massive, weathered hand, its skin cracked like the bark of an ancient oak, trembles slightly from the biting cold but never loses its grip. Above the roar of the gale, the rhythmic clink, clink, clink of metal against stone sounds like a heartbeat in the silence of the wasteland. Each strike is a gamble against the frostbite creeping into the fingertips, a desperate race to finish the mark before the world turns entirely white. The beginning. In the heart of a mountain pass where the wind screams with the voice of ghosts, a lone craftsman kneels. He is a figure of shadow and wool against the blinding sheets of snow. To the casual observer, he is a madman seeking shelter in the worst possible place. To those who understand the old ways, he is a bridge between the physical and the eternal. He is not here to survive the storm, he is here to answer it. Before him lies a slab of dark, unyielding stone, partially buried in the accumulating drift. His tools are simple, a heavy iron hammer and a series of sharpened chisels. His hands tell the story of a lifetime spent in service to the rock. They are scarred, stained with the dust of 1,000 projects, and hardened by decades of manual labor. These are not the hands of a scholar, but the hands of a creator. The air is so cold it burns the lungs with every breath. The craftsman draws a heavy hood further over his face, his eyes narrow to slits against the stinging ice crystals. He is preparing to carve the Gebo rune, the symbol of the gift, the exchange, and the sacred bond between individuals. In this frozen isolation, the irony of carving a symbol of connection is not lost on him, yet the act itself is his gift to the mountain. The rising action. He begins the first diagonal stroke. The stone resists. It is frozen to its core, making it brittle and unpredictable. A single wrong move, a strike too heavy, and the slab will shatter, rendering hours of preparation useless. The craftsman closes his eyes for a moment, feeling the vibration of the stone through his palm. He is looking for the grain, the hidden path within the mineral structure that will allow the chisel to glide. The storm intensifies. Visibility drops to less than a meter. The world outside his immediate circle of effort ceases to exist. There is only the gray stone, the silver steel, and the red warmth of his own blood pumping through his straining forearms. He strikes. The first line of the Gebo rune begins to take form. It is a shallow groove at first, a mere scratch on the surface of eternity. As he works, the physical toll becomes evident. His breath comes in ragged gasps, turning into thick plumes of steam that vanish instantly in the wind. The muscles in his shoulders ache with a dull, throbbing heat, contrasting sharply with the numbness in his feet. He has to stop periodically to beat his arms against his chest, forcing circulation back into his fingers. If he loses feeling, he loses precision. If he loses precision, the rune is a failure. He shifts his position, leaning his weight into the tool. The second line of the Gebo rune must cross the first at a perfect angle. This intersection is the heart of the symbol, representing the point where two paths meet. The wind tries to knock him over, pushing against his back like a physical hand, but he remains anchored. He has become part of the landscape, as stubborn as the peaks surrounding him. The sound of the hammer changes. The high-pitched ring becomes a deeper thud as the chisel sinks further into the rock. The character is emerging. It is raw and jagged, mirroring the environment in which it is born. He clears the debris with a gloved hand, brushing away the stone chips that are indistinguishable from the falling hail. The climax. The storm reaches its peak. A sudden gust, more powerful than the rest, threatens to tear the tools from his hands. The craftsman growls, a sound of pure defiance that is swallowed by the thunder of the wind. He reaches the final inch of the carving. The intersection of the lines needs to be deepened to ensure the shadow of the rune remains visible even in the dim light of winter. He raises the hammer for the final sequence of blows. This is the moment of greatest tension. The stone is under immense pressure from the cold and the repetitive impact. He can feel a hairline fracture nearby, a flaw in the rock that could betray him at the very last second. He ignores the pain in his joints and the ice matting his beard. All his will, all his history, and all his skill are focused on the tip of that steel blade. Clang, clang, clang. With a final resounding strike, the chisel carves the deepest point of the X. The vibration rings through his bones. He holds his breath, waiting for the sound of a crack, for the collapse of his work. Silence follows, or as much silence as a storm allows. The stone holds. The Gebel rune sits etched into the face of the mountain, clean and powerful. The lines are straight, the angles true. It is a mark of human intent imposed upon the chaos of nature. The craftsman drops his tools. His hands are shaking violently now, the adrenaline fading to be replaced by the crushing weight of exhaustion. He stares at the mark. In the swirling white, the Gebel rune looks like a crossroads, an invitation to the weary, and the reminder that no one travels truly alone even in the heart of a blizzard. The ending. Slowly, the man begins to pack his kit. His movements are stiff and heavy, like a clockwork machine winding down. He rubs his hands together, the friction a small comfort against the encroaching frost. He does not look for praise, and there is no audience to witness his accomplishment. The stone will remain here, eventually covered by snow, only to be revealed again when the spring thaws the world. He stands up, his legs nearly buckling under him. He takes one last look at the carved character. The Gebo is a symbol of balance. He gave his labor, his warmth, and his endurance to the mountain, and in return, the mountain gave him this moment of completion. The debt is paid. Slowly, the craftsman turns away from the stone and begins the long, perilous trek back down into the valley. Within seconds, the curtain of snow swallows his silhouette. The path he took is already being erased by the drifting white. Soon, there is no sign that a human being was ever there, save for one thing. Deep beneath the rising snow, etched into the ancient granite, the Gebel rune waits. It is a silent testament to the hands that carved it, a gift left in the dark, and a mark of connection that the storm can never wash away.